Hello, Matthew. I guess we can go one more time.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, feeling blessed today, like every day, friend. So hey, glad to be here, and just let me know what topics we want to cover, and we'll get people encouraged.
All right, I'm gonna give me one more second. Okay, right on. Well, how are you doing? How are you doing, Matthew? Very, very good to see you. Can you
Yeah,
see me?
you
My camera's
too.
not on. Where's my
No.
camera? There we go. My camera's on. Okay. Very good to see you. Welcome to the Ganjinvest session or series of the ganjactives.com Cannabis Conference and Expo series. Thank you very much for joining us, Matthew Nordgren. How do you pronounce your last name, please? Was that correct?
Yeah, that was about as good as I hear for the first time. But it's Nordgren, and
Nordgren. Yes, exactly.
very Norwegian. And
I was
I
gonna
think you
ask what's the
said,
origins of that. I was gonna say, what's the origins of that?
yeah,
Norwegian.
Norwegian. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But you hail from Dallas. I'm assuming you seem to have a pretty distinct history in Dallas.
I do. My family came over from Norway to Minnesota, and then
Okay.
Minnesota down to Louisiana and Texas in just a few generations. And so, but I was born and raised in Texas, Dallas, went to school in Austin, played football for the Texas Longhorns. That was a great experience.
Right on.
And, went on to be a part of a couple NFL teams briefly. And then ever since I've been investing, and I think the greatest joy of my life, without question, from that whole journey from Texas has been getting to California and being a part of this botanical wellness movement that all started many years ago. I mean, back to the Himalayas. You can go back millions of
Oh yeah,
years,
for
but
sure, for sure.
certainly, in your part of the world, we can trace back how important that journey has been. And friend, I'm just happy to be here because when I get a chance to talk to folks from your part of the world, as a compared to Texas or California or wherever,
Right.
it seems a little bit more meaningful. This word
Okay.
sacrament is what they
Right,
talk
right.
about.
I've heard you using that word as well, and
I love it.
I
I
was getting to
love
that.
it.
Yeah, I
Oh,
get to that as well.
I
Right on.
got that from Jamaica,
Yeah, right
and
on.
so it's been such a gift. And friend, we're just so happy to be a part of this industry right now.
So how did you get into cannabis? How did you, well, first of all, you said you did football. That was a great experience. Then you went into investing. I know you had get an injury and that kind of ended that. Which do you prefer? Was it the football or the investing? Which is more
Well,
challenging, I guess.
I think investing, without
Yeah.
question, but
Okay.
that's only because I was a backup quarterback. I didn't get a chance to start. So in
Okay.
Texas, I was behind Vince Young. In the at Philadelphia Eagles, I got to play behind Donovan McNabb and watch him. It just wasn't, those guys were amazing, maybe some of the best to ever do it. But being
Right,
behind
right.
them taught me servant leadership, and it taught me how to build a team from the sideline. And that turned out to make for a great investor, in particular, a venture investor or a growth equity investor, because you're investing in teams that are already moving the ball down the field. And as a person on the sideline, you're really trying to figure out, what can I do to help make this team a champion? And that's what we do for our companies. That's the skill that I developed playing football, and certainly enjoy I think God's, called me to be in this position today to speak for the botanical wellness space, to see the hope it gives people, the goodness it brings out in the world. And this is definitely the highlight of my life.
And so how did you get into cannabis? How did that part of the journey start?
Oh, cannabis has been in part of my journey for a long time. But in football, back then, you didn't want to let anybody know.
Right, right on.
But now it's a different world. And, when I had the opportunity to look at, where I was going to go, sort of take the life lessons and skills I had developed in finance and football, this industry came along, and it aligned more with my spirit and way of being, balance, peace, homeostasis, all these things the plant can really help one achieve. And I believe that's the true meaning of life, being in the moment, and ultimately being aligned, body, mind, and then spirit. To have the spirit you really want, this is important. And so I just said, we're going to take everything we've learned, we're going to bring it into the botanical wellness space, and we're going to grab the greatest minds that understand how to manage capital and invest it, and the legal and tax and auditing and all the things that have to happen. We have the skills to be able to help bring this medicine to the world. And so we just said, there's no better way to spend our lives. Let's do it.
I love your terminology, the botanical wellness. This is actually the first time I've heard that one. That's I'm going to use it, but I'm going to steal that. By the way, I've never heard that one before. I like that. All right. So you mentioned before that you look for teams, look to invest in teams that are moving the ball along. What is it in a team that would specifically attract you to say, okay, this is worthy of getting involved? And what about a team? And how big a team is it? Like, we're talking a full-fledged company, a startup, well versus startup? What do you look at?
It's a great question. It's one that everybody who's watching should think about, because, there are different team players, different parts of your team that you need at every stage in your journey. And when you're in the early stages and you're building something, you have a concept, it doesn't matter if you're 60 or 20 years old. It really doesn't matter if I've had 40 years of success or none. When you start something new, there's still a journey that needs to happen, and you need to be present and take each step with the folks that are there. So the answer to your question is, our skill set is joining a journey when it's about halfway complete.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because, back to the football analogy, I wasn't the guy on the field. I wasn't the starter. I wasn't the guy taking every snap.
Right.
You've got to go in and be a team on the field, and you have to say, okay, who can I bring in at this time? If you're a startup company, there are investors that particularly have that skill and spend their time on seed stage investing, startup investing. And then there are, because they have that skill, they know they can bring a lot to a team. They want to give a little bit of money. It's not as big of a check at that stage because you're just starting, but they know they can bring skills to the table. Maybe they're a lawyer, maybe they're a serial entrepreneur, and so they give you a little bit of money, and they also get a little bit of the back end of the company. And that's a great thing because they have those skills and they can help bring value outside a whole bunch of money, just enough to get you to next proof of concept.
Right.
Where you have your first outside round of capital, maybe they call it an A round. And there are really great investors that focus on the A round. Okay, we know we can't join a team day one, but we're good. We don't want to be too late either. We want to really get companies that have a good thing going, and they got a decent sized team, and they have some proofs of concept and some revenue coming in. And there are investors who like to get in there, and it's all about risk. Okay, so then when you get to the next stage and you're in your early stage growth round, mid stage growth round, late stage growth round, there are investors at each of those stages as well that come in and say, I have less risk, but less return for it. But I know this is the type of investing I can do. And so for us, we're the type of investor that comes into kind of your mid stage or late stage growth. We're not bankers. We're not looking to do a transaction. We don't want to give you money and sell you. We want to add value. We want to help you get in the goal line, but it's a journey we're best prepared for. What do they call it? Fuel in your tank, gas on the fire. We want to add something at that stage. So if you're listening to this, I think the big takeaway for you is don't ever act like you're not wherever you are in your journey. It's okay. There are people there for you. Make sure if you're talking to an investor that you understand what their appetites are. Where do they like to be? And if it's not exactly where you are, that's okay. The best thing you can do is be where you are, focus on those investors, and let investors that may be down the road a little bit be aware of what you're doing.
You mentioned something there interesting and that does happen to a lot of seed stage startup investors where they look for a point of exit, look for a point where you're going to sell the company and for exit. I see you have a very interesting portfolio, some of the top brands in the industry. I'm assuming you're not waiting for them to get bought up by somebody for your exit. How does that relationship work?
Well, it's a great question, and you don't know when you're investing early. And the funds we've built over the years, back in the early days of the cannabis movement in the United States, at least, we were investing very early in companies. And so, fortunately, if you look at the portfolio, as you said, they turned into all at this time be really great companies. We haven't had anybody die on us.
Right.
We definitely had to go down some alleys with them and fight our way out. But so far, all of them have a chance. And so you don't really know. But as of today, a lot of companies have an opportunity to go public, and particularly on the ancillary side right now because they can access institutional capital. Some companies are in conversations with Fortune 500 companies that do what they do. Bigger companies that are coming in to buy them so that they can enter the cannabis space in some service capacity. Or many companies in the industry are just merging themselves together. And so you're going to see that happen where companies now, their exits are, let's join together and get bigger. And so all of these things are happening right now. And we didn't know exactly how it was going to play out. But along that journey, you're just trying to add as much value to every one of these companies that you can, and helping these entrepreneurs think through what their exits are going to be, what is the best path forward at any particular time. But it's a constant reassessment, and every day it seems like that changes. And so it's just being there for each other through thick and thin, and ultimately you work hard enough and you got a great enough team, you get there.
Right on, right on. And you, well, you touched on the ancillary, and I noticed you do focus on this. Really, do you do any plant touching businesses? Have you invested in any plant touching businesses?
Well, in our funds, we don't invest in plant touching businesses, but the bigger definition for that is if they're federally legal in their environment. So in the United States, that's not. But over the years ago, we couldn't invest in hemp licenses either. But then in
Right, true.
2018, they gave the hemp farm bill gave some ability for that, so we could invest there. So as things move forward in any particular country, if it meets federal legal guidelines, we can then invest. So that may happen here in the U.S. in the next couple of years, which would be great. We do, however, invest in or help manage or advise on plant touching companies through SPVs, single purpose vehicles or special purpose vehicles.
Right.
We'll do them as a one-off opportunity, and we've been involved with a lot of those over the years. But as a manager, we want to continue to be an institutional quality firm. And so we want to be able to make the argument to these institutionals that are allocating to the space now that our firm has always, at any point in time, been on that side of the fence, so that we can access that capital from those institutionals and then provide it to this industry, because that's all we're trying to do. All we're trying to do is fight for resources for these entrepreneurs to bring this sacrament to people. At the end of the day, that's it. And we're going to fight that battle however we can get it done.
We all are, aren't we? That's all a part of it. But tell me, how difficult is it to navigate given the federal illegality? I mean, even the vaporizer industry, they took it in 2019 with the vape crisis, which kind of was cannabis. Of course, their big gripe is really e-cigarettes, but and the fruity flavored e-cigarettes and so on. But they lumped the cannabis vaporizer into that. See, you have even Cusco under your portfolio. How does, I mean, even something like that, vaporizer, that's even bongs are problematic. I mean, how do you navigate that with the non-plant touching products, the ancillary products, and so on?
Well, we just have great lawyers, and they look at it every month, every week. I mean, we constantly reassess what that means. And if you know the legal world, which I know you do, there's what's what, you never know until you get in there and have to fight somebody on any topic. So what we think about is our investors expect us to give them the least risky path forward at any particular point in time. And they trust us to make those decisions. And so, there isn't a perfect answer for you, friend, but the answer for us is, we assess it all the time, and the needle moves on that one.
And what type, if you're allowed to say, what type of investors do you, funds do you manage? I'm assuming a lot of institutional investors, are they people you wouldn't assume would have an interest in cannabis, or would they be surprising entrants? I mean, what kind of people are actually investing in the space through?
Yeah, I think that's right. We have people that you would expect, but I would say maybe of all the great funds out there, we may have, as many as anybody that you wouldn't expect, because of the fact that they can invest with us anywhere in the world. And, because of the structure of the fund's assets, they don't have to worry about, being able to receive a distribution on that capital that could be risky in the U.S. or outside the U.S., or the tax concerns that are extraordinary with 280E and other things. So we've been able to, get through compliance at firms that, sometimes I'm shocked, at least over the past few years, that we got through. But at this time, we would expect that our firm and our funds, the way they've been structured, could pass compliance at any institutional firm now after this blue wave and the momentum. But, in years past, I would say we're, surprised sometimes.
Right on. And how well, let me ask you, and you said you've had an interest in Jamaica. Have you been to Jamaica? Have you spent time in Jamaica?
I spent time, yeah, and so not enough, and can't wait to come back.
Right on. So how do you view the Jamaica from an investment point of view? How does it look?
Well, I think the good news about having, there is no good news, but I guess there's some. The world got shut down for the last year and a half. And at that same time, this industry as much as any thrived. And the botanical wellness space is just absolutely, become more aware in people's minds that it's happening, and people have learned more about it all over the world, really, particularly the Americas. And so when I think about Jamaica, I think really a great opportunity that now that the world's kind of resetting, if you will, and these botanicals are becoming such big industry.
Yeah.
I think now is the time to reassess what the relationship for Jamaica can be to the world. And I think this is the calling for it. So I have a lot of thoughts on that, but my point I think I want to, make as an answer is that whatever one thought that might be before, the whole world got sick, it shut down, and now it's reopening. And this industry snuck in there and became a huge topic. So I think Jamaica needs to figure out a way in this new world to be a big part of that. And I think it will. And I think this is a massive opportunity for Latin America as well as Jamaica and other places.
Right on. And so, and what about any recommendation, any advice on how one would approach? I mean, say, obviously, I don't think there are any companies that have developed to the point of being even a mid-stage investment. Maybe Kaya. So where was in? Whoa! Sorry, somebody's microphones. Sorry. Yeah, a couple other people's microphones are on there. Hello? Where did he go? Okay, he disappeared. What the hell? No, you guys out of the room. He's gone. Go to the waiting room. This is crazy. Yesterday we seem to have lost Matthew. I don't know what happened. Matthew! He disappeared on me. Hello, just a moment, people. I guess we're waiting for Matt to come back in. I don't know what happened. We have a couple people with some audio issues. Yeah, just give me a moment. Let me see what's happened. Where did he go? No, he's gone. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we seem to have, he's back. Here we go. Okay, I don't know what happened. I think he took a bathroom break, maybe. I don't know. But he's back. All right, let's roll. That's too tight. Yes, there we go. No. Right.
Hey, lost you. I don't know what happened, but hey, guys.
I neither do I. Anyway, yeah, we're back.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Well, love being with you.
Right,
let's do a couple more, man, and just know for anybody who's watching, I want you to know Arcadian's here for you. Our website, arcadiancap.com. Omari's a friend and can also reach out to us in case there's additional resources that we can provide you, and we're just glad to be a part of.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is that the easiest way to reach out to you guys? Just approach you on your website? Is that what people should do?
Well, absolutely. We have a team here that tries to assess, what the outreach is. I mean, whether it's a charitable thing, if it's an investment opportunity, if somebody wants to invest with us, which is, so there's different parts of the team that, depending on, what the what the outreach may be about, we'll get you to the right part of the team and try to figure out. And that's really been our commitment, because this is more than, just a business. This is this firm, Arcadian, feels like a living, breathing organism right now, that everybody who joins it or becomes a part of it in some capacity, we just keep getting stronger. And so we'll be here, we'll be available.
Right on, right. That's good to hear that. But we were supposed to have someone coming in around now, because we had a little presentation of a company. I would have loved to get some feedback on it. If you had a few, I don't know where, anyway, this is the time we're supposed to be starting. But I will, all right, in fact, let's just continue the conversation. What do you, if you don't mind, I'll give it 5 more minutes. We are, what's he say? As you said, you have a history with cannabis. You love the cannabis. You embrace the plant, the botanical wellness, and all that. There are a lot of people who are in the space, a lot of large CEOs, a lot of investment firms, and so on, who are not cannabis. They're just they're into it because it's a money-making vehicle. They see the profit potential. What's your take on entities like that, or people like that who function like that within the space?
Well, I think, it's human nature to want to make money. And, I think that obviously resources help you, provide for your family, but they also give you the opportunity to give back. And this industry right now, to me, feels like kingdom building. In my faith, God talks about kingdom building. And so that's what I think we're doing. And to do that, it requires resources. And if you look at human history at any point in time, in my mind, there's only a finite amount of resources on planet Earth at any given time, whether it's now or a million years ago. And I think certain individuals, have been given the blessings to go out and obtain as many of those resources as possible, to do good with them, because they're meaningless at any point in time. Whether there weren't dollars a million years ago, that didn't even exist. So what was the resource then? But we're timeless beings in a timed experience. These physical forms that we're in, these resources in the world, our spirit is just here for however long. So I think when you're here, it's not a bad thing to go out and make a bunch of money. What's a bad thing is, if you have the ability to obtain resources, not using them for good. And frankly, I think you have to go do it, because can you trust everyone else to do as much good as you're going to do? That's how I feel every day. I can't wait to go obtain more resources, because I know that when I look in the mirror every day and look at our team, I know exactly what we're going to do with them. We're going to go empower, we're going to encourage, we're going to resource, we're going to serve. And so we feel encouraged to do that. So I think it's okay if you're doing that in the right way. And for this industry, I hope you have a deeper meaning about why you're doing it, obviously, for people, for humanity, for Mother Earth. But I think you deserve to make a lot of money along the way. And those, I think, that are in this industry for the right reasons will ultimately be the ones that obtain the most resources from it. And I think probably end up doing the most good in that way too.
Right. I've said this before. I like your energy. I do admire your energy. It's there and it shows. And I guess you're growing. I'll watching your company and the entity that you guys are involved with very, very closely. Anything else you'd like to throw in there? Last couple minutes. We're waiting for somebody. There must have been a mix-up. I'll sort that out and we'll communicate. Anything else you'd like to throw out?
No mix-up. There's, the good thing about life is that it's the moment is all that matters, because that's the way your brain works. Data in, data out. And people, often get too caught up in the past. I mean, the past is just data, okay? And the future hadn't happened yet. It's belief in yourself.
That's a way to look at it.
It's the truth. And you look at yourself in the moment and a hope that you have enough information from the past and enough, presence and mindfulness in the moment so that you make the right decision for the future. But in both cases, it's about the moment. And so, hey, whether someone shows up now or not, we're here. The only thing that matters in the world to me right now is you.
Is this
This
conversation.
is the only thing
All right,
that matters.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Why?
that.
Because it's right now, and it doesn't matter what happens. We're making best use of it.
It's what's happening. It's what's happening. Absolutely.
And that's what's happening with this
Absolutely.
industry, frankly. It's the mindfulness that I think we're trying to bring to people. And I think these, businesses help do that.
You touched on something, and I was going to follow it up after my energy statement. But yes, how do you, with your infectious energy, how do you approach people to get the funding for what you do?
Well, we just keep answering the bell every day.
Yeah. Okay.
And like anybody, it's a journey, but we don't get so confused in what could be as compared to just giving everything we have to the journey, to what's happening. And then you wake up one day and someone says, you've done great things. It reminds me of, of an experience I had when I was kind of paying attention to this lady when she was talking about this organization she created, which was to help drunk driving. And she had lost her daughter in a drunk driving accident.
Right.
Probably the worst thing that could ever happen to anybody in the world would be
losing your child. Yeah, definitely.
Losing your child. I mean, right?
Yeah,
There's nothing worse. And then she created an organization that was supposed to help, in the name of her daughter, drunk driving fatalities. And some amount of years later, she was being asked and interviewed about how great it was that this organization had been created and that she had saved 1 million lives or something like this. I can't remember the exact number, but I was watching this and it was about, how great is it? How many lives you saved? How great, how great, how great. And I'll never forget her response. And her response was, is it great or it just is? I choose to believe it's great. But don't forget, there was a time when the worst thing that could ever happen to anybody happened to me.
Right on.
Okay. And so what an interesting thing to think about. If you close your eyes and say, what is the greatest thing I could ever accomplish as my life was ending? What would I want to be able to look back on and say, well, if you could say you saved 1 million people, I think you'd be pretty happy with your life. Right. Probably not much more you could lay on your deathbed and say, man, that's great. So, and then the same person also had to play with the concept that the worst thing that ever could happen
happened. Right.
And so it was this sort of perspective that said, there is no good, bad, sad, happy. It's all data. And the beauty is understanding how the brain processes information, how the body's supposed to work, and then being able to be so in the moment that you're able to recognize input is just input and that you have full control of the output. It's you that gets to decide. You only have control of 2 things in life, and it's the moment and yourself in it. That's it. You're not supposed to relinquish control. You're supposed to take full control. But there's only 2 things you can actually do that with. And so being in that moment, I think in this woman's mind, and I think the takeaway is that it can always be great if you choose. Nothing's either, it just is. But you get to choose, and that's beautiful.
I'm gonna have to ask you that very question. If you were on your deathbed, when you look back at your life, what's that one thing that would make you happy from this point of view?
Well, from this point of view, for me, it would be my faith. I don't think there's anything greater you can do to somebody than look them in the eye and represent goodness, represent, what your faith means in life. And it's a journey, and you're always trying to get better at that, no doubt. But I think, as I sit here today, I know how important that is. And so that would be my first answer. But, family and other things would also be important. But spreading this business and growing this industry would be a joy.
But you bring up faith. Just one of the final questions. There's a perpetual conflict between religion and cannabis use. How do you contend with that? How do you deal with that?
No, there's not. If anybody's confused about it, just read the Bible. Go back to Genesis. Look at the Garden of Eden. The word herb is all over the place.
This would be our reference, but talk to a lot of priests, and they won't say that. I mean, yeah, that's what I'll say. That's what you'll say. A lot of priests, that's not what they preach. Even here in Jamaica, they call it the devil's lettuce. They still call it the devil's lettuce. I mean, it's a factor that we have to contend with. It's real.
Well, it's just education, but everybody needs education. I think it's coming, and we see that trending in other parts of the world right now. And just be prepared, because the change is coming. And it's important, I think, to meet everybody in the place they are in the journey. If they're at step one and you're somebody who wants to spread this word, don't try to force it on them. Just go where they are with it and walk that path with them. So it's coming, though. I'm not concerned. I've done enough studying to know exactly, I think, what faith should think about this. But hey,
we're transitional human beings. But yeah. So, anyways, I will. We can wrap it up there. That's a nice note to end it on. You're going again. Okay, something happened. Right. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. I know he has another couple other meetings. Probably stepped out for a moment again. Yeah, there he is.
hey.
Anyways, right.
Sorry about that.
That's right. Just wrapping things up all the same. I will say, I will, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us here. Very insightful, very good information. You are definitely one of the more stellar entities out there, and I do admire what you do and the entities that you guys represent. I think it's cool stuff. And I would love to see, you do some investments in Jamaica. I think we could use a person with your energy, your mind to help, to help elevate some entities in Jamaica to a higher level. I think that'll be great. But we have our Ganjinvest platform that I will be getting some people in on. So I will share this information with you when we do have it available. As soon as we do, we could see what can be done.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for having me, and looking forward to staying in touch with everybody.
All right, right on. One love. And you'll see this on the Gadget Project program, which will be released in a couple of weeks. All right. So once again, thank you very much for your time, and tell your team thanks a lot. It was great putting this together with them and with yourself.
Thanks, guys. Okay, God bless. Bye-bye.
Okay, one love. Oh, stop. Whoa. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Come, we can get him back. Oh, Jesus. Simon. Greetings, everybody. Meet Simon. Simon's going to join us just now. Simon's in the room. Let's go. This is Simon from Colombia Zona, as you can see. It's joining us shortly. Oh, my goodness. All right. Oh, no. All right.
Hola.
Oh, what's up? Let me get your camera on. All right, turn on your camera. What's up?
Not much. Actually, my camera is on my laptop and has a Band-Aid on it.
Okay.
Nicholas will be presenting. Yeah, I'm here in Colombia. Okay.
Okay, right. No problem. We have an issue. We might have lost our guest. We didn't know what was happening. Let me get them back in. Hold on. Give me a moment.
Sure. Take your time. I'm gonna go back on mute.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Right now. Okay. All right. All right. Hi. What's up? Okay. All right. We're back, Simon. We're gonna do the presentation. We're gonna present it to Mr. Nordgren later. Not a problem. Do you want to? So what? Yeah. What's happening? You could come on in the room. Come on in.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Okay, I'm hearing you now. Yeah. Okay. What's up?
Not much. I could sort of hear you, but I'll bear with the my volume on my computer's a little low. I don't know why. But we're ready to get started. Nicholas will be joining you.
Okay. All right. Where's Nicholas? Because let's just do that. We're gonna yeah. Matt has left. Let's do the presentation. Let's get it recorded, and we'll let's do this, please.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna go back on mute.
All right. Okay. No problem. All right. So everyone, please just hang out. We're gonna have a company presentation soon to end this wonderful day and this wonderful Ganjinvest day of the Ganjactors.com Cannabis Conference and Expo series. Everything, once again, will be recorded. Sessions that were postponed due to a couple conflicting schedules will be recorded, quite likely next week or before the end of the month, and released with the Ganja Project programming next week. We'll release on the site as a part of the conference, as well as the Ganja Project programming, so you can see all of that good stuff shortly. All right. So we'll just wait for Simon again. I'll take off my camera. You will hear the sound, but I will take off the camera. Excuse me. Okay, so I can let you know. Okay. Hello, Nicholas. Here we go. Thank you for joining us. Where are we at now? Ask to unmute. Yeah. Can you unmute? Not hearing you.
Here.
Okay, there we go. All right, making sure everything is recording. We are still streaming. Yes. Yes, I can hear you. Please. All right, well, welcome to the Ganjinvest section of the Ganjactors.com Cannabis Conference and Expo series. Let me drop myself a video real quick. It's not gonna work. Okay. Yes, welcome. And yes, welcome. Welcome. You have a presentation at Colombia Zona. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and what your company is and what you'd like to present to us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Mari. Hello, everyone here. Thank you for having us here in this such an amazing event. I've understanding, and there's a little bit of difficulties, like with the broadcasting and everything. But I know everything is working out perfectly. I've seen a couple of the videos that you have posted, so that's actually very interesting. I'm gonna have to apologize for for the background noise. I've got, I'm in the farm, so I've got a couple of dogs here around that just like
We have the same problem here. Not to worry. It's absolutely fine.
Terrific. So first, before I go into my presentation, I would like to introduce everyone, our CEO, Simon Gonzalez. So I would like him to give a brief introduction of our company, and then after that, I'll just move into the presentation. So please, Simon.
Okay, hopefully you can hear me. First of all, I appreciate, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Did you turn on your camera?
Okay, right now.
Oh, you said this right. You don't. Sorry, that's right. Introduce. Well, go ahead. Speak. Go ahead. Introduce yourself. Go right ahead.
Okay, so first of all, appreciate having us on this particular presentation. We've been working on the project about a year. We put a lot of energy and effort into it, and we're getting ready to roll out the product. So I want to let Nicholas present what we've done and what we've accomplished. And hopefully if you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to chime in. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. So Omari, one thing. So you set this up for 3 p.m. So it's still 4 minutes to go. So should we wait the 4 minutes till we get started? So probably more people are going to join in, or what do you reckon?
We can let's wait a little while. Let's wait a little while. We like I said, we lost one of our guests just due to timing and time conflicts and so on and so forth. But that's fine. Like I said, this is what seems to happen at the time of COVID. A lot of this conference was set up like from a couple months ago, and then people kind of said, yeah, sure, and then they forgot this and that. It's just happens. It's the interesting part is the people who made it properly and everything, and the people who have assistance. It's the people who are locked up in their homes and so on. They're the ones who mess up. But it's all good. The intention is to record everything, have it nicely packaged for our programming, and we do have people that we want to present this to, so they can, some investors and consultants, so they can give some feedback and potentially get on board.
Terrific. Yep. Okay. So let's wait the 3 minutes that are left, and then let's probably get started around time. Okay. Thank you so much, Maury.
No problem. And well, feel free to tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do? What's your history? You're from Colombia as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Colombia. I was born and raised in Colombia. Then I decided university. I started studying agronomy. But then I had no idea about English. I had no idea about the word. So I said, okay, if I want to know about the word, I need to learn English. So the easiest way was I kind of applied for a scholarship to go to Australia to learn English. And I moved to Australia when I was 17. And since then, I haven't stopped. So I've been traveling all around the world. I've lived in Australia. I lived in the States. I lived in Puerto Rico. I lived in Brazil. And recently I moved back from Norway. I lived in Norway almost for 5 years while I was doing my PhD there. So I've been all around the world. So I came back to Colombia after almost 14 years of being traveling and, being around. And it's been really interesting, actually. It's been really, really interesting to come back because the whole culture for me is new. I don't feel as Colombian as I used to.
Yeah, okay.
Things change,
I'm sure that happens. I grew up in and out of Jamaica, and every time I come back after a few years, it's like, wow, it's a different place. Yeah, it happens.
Exactly. And also, like my mind has opened up a lot more. Colombia is a very conservative country.
Okay.
So, and then I started working with cannabis, and then my family used to see cannabis as like a bad thing, as most of conservative families around the world.
Yes.
So educating people and educating my own family has been a great challenge.
I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. My parents are on board. The rest of the family, it's still, but yeah, it's a thing. And I'm in Jamaica. You would think, okay, but you're in Jamaica, But anyways, all right. It's just about 2 o'clock. It's just about 1 to 3, right? 3 EST. That's fine. All right. So yeah, do you want to get started?
Yep, sure. So let me share my screen.
Yep, I think I gave you the co-host. Let me make sure you are. All right, you should be able to. Yes, I think co-host. Okay, right. Yeah, you should be able to share now, I think.
There you go. Yeah, terrific. Where am I here?
I like your background. You have the same problem as me. I try to have a nice background, and it's kind of raining in my background as well. Yeah.
It just started. It just started raining. It just,
Same
I
here.
was
Same
like,
here.
I was like, I'm gonna rock it, you know. But then no, then it started raining, and all the dogs started barking and stuff like
Right.
that.
Oh well. All right. It's nature. It happens.
It is nature. That's definitely true.
All right,
Okay,
please. All right, take it away.
so let me
Who's
get
in the room?
started. So first
Okay,
of
we
all,
got
let
some
me
people.
introduce our company. So our company name is Colombia Zona. We picked that name because
Give it 1 second if you don't mind.
yep,
A good friend just stepped into the room. I just want to make sure that they are in, and they are okay. That's not what I can do. I can't even see. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yes, Christian's in the room. Okay, right on. He can hang out for a bit. All right, sorry, please. Just
that's all right.
start once again, introduce yourself and go. Just take it away. It's all you.
Thank you so much. So again, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of this amazing journey that we've had. We started in the middle of the pandemic. We started in the middle of the COVID-19. So it's been really tough, but we have managed and we have achieved amazing things, and we're so happy and so pleased to publicly present it for the first time to everyone. So as I was saying, so our company's name is Colombia Zona. We picked that name because everything that we're doing, all our operations, everything, all the raw materials that we're using for the products that we're developing are done and cultivated in Colombia. And our mantra for our company is be bold, be brave, and differentiate. Well, this is something that everyone should have in mind. When it comes to a pandemic like the one that we're going through right now. So again, my name is Nicolas Mendoza Pena. I'm Colombian. I was born and raised in Colombia. I was just saying a little bit about it to Omari. I've been traveling around the world, and well, that has opened up a lot of opportunities for me and my mind. So I have learned a lot. My background, my bachelor and my master's is in agronomy engineering. I'm a specialist in biotechnology and tissue culture, so I've been working with the biotech for some years, almost 10 to 11 years now. Again, I have to apologize for the background. It just started raining. And I recently finished a PhD in plant biotechnology, genetics, and physiology at the Norwegian University of Life Sciences in Norway. So I recently moved back to Colombia. I came back almost a year ago and right for the pandemic, but I couldn't be more grateful because I managed to spend time with my family in such a difficult situation, and I managed to spend and support them. So,
okay, so you feel more Colombian now, I guess. You've been a bit more Colombianized.
Yeah, exactly. I've been Colombianizing a little bit myself.
All right, cool. Right on.
That was a big thunder. Okay, so who we are. So Colombia Zona is a major international supplier of CBD noble infused coffee and other products utilizing a high volume manufacturing process for mass market distribution channels. Okay. This is our intellectual property. This is our patent pending process. This is the file that we have filed in the USPTO in the United States. Our lawyer, oh, Jesus, started raining a lot. I'm gonna have to go inside. You're gonna have to apologize me a little bit because I think I might have to go inside.
So, hey, what's up? Yeah, take your time. That's all right. We got noises, everything. I'm surprised because we're supposed to be in lockdown, like midday today. People are still on the road.
Yes, I'm gonna pause sharing a little bit because I'm getting wet here. Sorry about that.
All right, no problem. This gives me some editing too later. That's fine. Do what you gotta do. Yeah. So all attendees, greetings. Thank you all for coming. This is the presentation by Colombia Zona, a very new company to the CBD cannabis and coffee space. Very interesting process that they have to. I don't want to give away all the secrets, but I will presumably to infuse coffee. they shall share that shortly. So any coffee drinkers out there, this is something to pay attention to.
Okay, so let's see. It's just so unfortunate. Okay,
All right, take it
so
away.
here we are. So here we are. Sorry about that again. So as I was saying, the patent last year, we're still in the process of patent pending. We gave this amazing process to an amazing lawyer, Catherine Noble Rice. She is a PhD in genetics, and she did her own research, and she found out that we have here nobody else in the world has done it. So this is something that it amazes us. This is something that we are very proud of, and that's why we're taking it to the next level. So with our intellectual property, what we have here is a market disruptor. Sorry about that. We have a market disruptor technology, okay? Because everything that it requires to come up with such an amazing product that we are need to enjoy and be responsible with, it requires different processes. So from the green bean preparation until the brew, and we have taken each step separately, analyzed it, and optimized it in a way that we have developed the best product. But this is something that will disrupt the market completely. So in order to be responsible, in order to give a product that is actually containing what there is to be promised, you need to infuse it. You need to truly infuse the CBD into the bean, okay? We have seen, and with all due respect, we have seen all other coffee products out there where they use spray on processes. You know, they usually use some oils or tinctures or other products just to mix it with their already made coffee. And we have seen that sometimes that don't work, you know? Sometimes tinctures and oils, when you try to mix it with water, they just won't blend and it won't taste good. So if you wanted to have a good product, if you wanted to have a product that was given a CBD amount reliable, you need to put that molecule into the bean. So this is what we have achieved. So this is a complex integration. Coffee isn't a water seagull, okay? It requires to have into consideration the CBD amount that you're delivering to the person or to the brew, the flavor, the aroma, you know, shelf life, certification, everything that is out there in the coffee business, we need to have it into consideration. So this is a complex integration that we have worked for months in order to have it ready. So we took the best raw materials, we took the best Colombian coffee, and I know Omari, being a Jamaican, is gonna say, no, Blue Mountain coffee is the best. Well, we're good, we're pretty good too.
I've heard, all right, that's cool, all right.
So we've taken the best raw materials, the best Colombian coffee, and the best CBD suppliers that are gonna give us the best traceability, and then integrate this, make it a good product, make it reliable. So what we have solved so far is something that many people have tried. We have been talking to people out there. We have been talking to distributors. We have been talking to roasters. Everyone has thought of the idea of making CBD coffee, but very few, and I don't want to say none because that would be too egocentric, but very few have achieved it. No one has achieved what we have, because we solve that everyone needs to use a CBD molecule that has a higher absorption in the human body. We have accomplished. We have integrated CBD into the green coffee bean, not the spray-on methods, not the already roasted coffee. We are giving opportunities to blenders and roasters to make their own magic, because that's what they need. They need to make their own magic. It's not good to have a coffee. It's not good to just roast the coffee in the label that we like, because this is very biased. And make the coffee the way we like and then sell it to people who probably don't like that. So that's why we have integrated that into the green coffee. We have generated intellectual property Okay, we have developed blending methods for customers to just play around. And the most important part, and I think that everyone is agree with this, people have tried making this with ethanol, with solvents, with all types of methodologies in order to infuse the CBD with the coffee. We have developed a natural process with no solvents, with no acids, with no caustic chemicals. This is completely natural. It's just a natural.
Hello, Nicholas. I don't know whose connection, who stopped. I'm not hearing you, if you can hear me.
Omari, this is Simon.
Was it mine?
Okay, hi. Okay, yeah, yeah, Nicholas, we lost you there for a second, I think.
No, we
lost your.
there was a big thunder, and we had a store we had a store blackout here, so I lost the internet and everything.
Wow, I guess once again, I guess it's all a part of it. Please, do you want to continue? Are you still on sharing? Let me make sure you can. Let me make sure you can still share.
This is the virtuality that we need to face now.
Absolutely, no, it is. I'm realizing that more and more every day. You know, everyone thinks that they're everything. Oh well, this is fine. I'm home. I can do it. It's like really no. It gets even more confusing. All right. Well, you can continue. If you can still share, please just continue. Just go ahead and continue, please. That was going good actually. It was going well.
I apologize for that. Matthias. Sorry, the dog keep barking. Anyway, so let's continue. So as I was saying, so we have developed a natural process that will not disrupt anything of the good things that we have looked for from the raw material. So we're going to continue keeping that traceability from the coffee and from the cannabis that we're using, right? And not altering that with any type of solvent. We have created a high volume manufacturing equipment for the market demand. So we're ready to meet all the demand out there in the world. We have optimized the infusion, the drying, the roasting, the grinding, and the brew process. We have provided competitive prices with 100% made in Colombia. So it's really good that we know that everything that is made in Colombia is cheaper, of course. So we're giving a competitive price compared to what we have out there in the market. And most importantly, again, remember that I told you, people that mix, they already make coffee, they brew coffee with oils and tinctures, they will mess up with the aroma, they will mess up with the flavor, right? We are keeping that with our process. After roasting, we're maintaining the CBD, we are maintaining the aroma, we are maintaining the flavor. It's like nothing has changed in the coffee. With the plus that with our final COA obtained from a third party lab, we have proof that there is CBD there, even after such a high temperature of roasting. So that is an amazing achievement because you know the CBD can disintegrate or can be unstable after 100 degrees C. Roasting goes over 200 degrees C. And even after roasting, even after brewing the coffee, our final COA has given us proof that we maintain a very, very high volume of CBD in the cup of coffee. So what is our marketing strategy? So this is a game changer for the CBD industry, the coffee. Because coffee is drunk all around the world. Only in the United States, there are 500 million cups of coffee drunk per year. That's so much coffee. And everyone knows what coffee is involved in. Soy milk, regular milk, honey, you know, pancakes, everything. So this will change how CBD industry will be delivered to the people. Because once you have CBD in your coffee, and you see all the benefits that you're obtaining from it, that's where you're gonna start using CBD on many products. So we are opening the doors for the market out there. And talking globally, there are 2.25 billion cups of coffee each day. So we drink 2.25 billion cups of coffee per day. That's a lot of coffee. So this is how we're going to change the market. This is how we're going to change the industry. You know, like we know, you know, I've been working with cannabis farmers. I've been working, you know, consulting with different firms of cannabis, and I know we're going through a rough year, but this is something that we are going to use to change that CBD industry. And why not? Our process already proved we can use it with any type of cannabinoid, THC, minor cannabinoids, CBD, everything. So in some time, we're going to use this to also put some THC into our coffee bean. Why not? So we've spoken to people, we've spoken to distributors, we've spoken to roasters, and all of them give us something. Like they always say, like, "Are you out of freaking mind?" You know, like we have been working on this for a year with no solution. We've had a few CBD people pass by, but no follow-up. Why? Probably they couldn't do anything about it. When the product will be ready, I want to try this. Well, CBD is unstable, so it falls to the bottom of the box. So that's why we put it inside the bean, you know, because when you spray it, it goes to the bottom of the box. If you put powder in it, it goes to the bottom of the box. We put it inside the bean. There's no way it's going to escape from there. Customers don't like the taste of coffee with the CBD. You know, it's too hempy, it's too herby. No, for us, it's just regular coffee. Just, you know, our taster. So we had a taster who drank the coffee and then said, like, "But this is regular coffee. Where are you feeding me? Are you lying to me?" "No, we're giving you coffee with CBD." He said, "Okay, I can't sense anything." Spray on doesn't work sometimes because you have to spray while you're roasting it. So sometimes it messes out the equipment. And this is something that we have seen in many packages. There's also one brand, very known brand, that claims on their label that the CBD percentage or the CBD content will vary between batches. That's something not very responsible to say, right? So that's why we need to be consistent with that. So it fits perfectly into the coffee ecosystem. So probably people out there who know the coffee ecosystem, you know that you have to have farmers, you have to have buyers, you have to have exporters, you have to have transportation, distribution, and then finally sell to retail. With our process, we just fit perfectly into it. You know, we actually take 2 steps from the whole line to make our coffee and then continue with the line of production. So why is this important? Because we're giving more money to the farmers who, I come from a family of coffee farmers, of coffee growers, and I know how sometimes coffee farmers get so ripped off because of the price that they get paid for the coffee. We're gonna help them with that, you know? We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna transport it and get it directly to the people, to the distributors. And here's why also we did it in the green coffee instead of the roasted coffee. There are over 8 million tons of coffee distributed around the world per year. That's so much coffee. And this is a little national pride. So Colombia is the 3rd largest distributor of that coffee, with the differences that Colombian coffee is a special coffee. Why? Because in Colombia, we handpick and sort the right beans from the bad ones and the green ones, instead of the mechanizing farming that they use in Brazil and Vietnam, you know, where they pick everything, even leaves. So what happens with that? That reduces the quality of the coffee. So our team, so Simon Gonzalez, he's our CEO. He has a BS in chemistry and a master's degree in chemical engineering. So that's why you can say now that we have word science with this. Myself as well, as I mentioned at the beginning, so I'm a scientist. I've been working in science for so many years. Now is my first try in the industry. Trying to move from academia to the industry is just hard, but it's exciting, as you can imagine. Alton Peterson, he's our R&B business manager. He has a degree in R&B business management. He's our market person. He's been working with huge companies for years, so he's got an amazing experience on that level. And James Black, he is helping us with the operations. He's been working, probably most of you out there know James Black. He's been working with cannabis for many years. He set up a couple of cannabis farms down here in Colombia, and he's working with huge distributions around the world. So we're ready to roll. We're good, capable people who know how to handle business in this level. So our financial position is very straightforward. It's very, very straightforward. We reduce our capex so much because of the business model that we have. So our revenue, and we've been very conservative using these numbers because I know for sure that we're going to sell more than 100,000 kilograms of these coffees. And we're being very conservative with the price because we want to be competitive with the price, not with the $40, $50 per pound that they sell out there, you know? So we have a revenue in year one, so what we call year zero, because the first finance of 2.7 million against a first investment of much less than that, you know? So we're having a gross margin in the 5 years plans that we have scheduled, we have planned for between 49 to 62%. And as you all know, that's something that is really amazing and sometimes difficult to achieve. But again, the reason why we are getting this is because our lower OPEX operations and faster return of investment. So what is a turnkey business model? So a turnkey is a totally integrated product ready to use from outsourced suppliers. So I was having a discussion earlier with our CEO, with Simon, and we say, okay, what we do here is that we just give away a little bit of our GM for gross margin, but we're avoiding all the infrastructure. We're avoiding all the overhead, the account head that we need, the employees that we need, because we're making an alliance with companies who have all of this, you know, and our type of business give us that opportunity, right? So why we do this turnkey business model? Because Colombia Zona focuses on global sales, marketing, and product development. That's what we do, right? And we share the profits with the suppliers, so we have everyone happy. And also with our virtual supply chain, that's the one thing that the pandemic, that the COVID-19 has brought to us that is really good. So we can do everything virtually now, and we know that sometimes we have difficulties like dogs barking or rain and stuff like that, but we know that we can make it work. And it's proven already that most companies have increased their revenue during the COVID-19 because of all of this, because of the capex and business models like this. And we're gonna focus on core competencies. So our production readiness. So we have established already a partnership with a Colombian CBD supplier. We have solved the CBD coffee blending process. We have customers already waiting for us to sell the product. So we have aligned the major distributors of coffee. We have already arranged the turnkey system. We have validated the infusion process. We have designed the equipment, and we have a quote already for that equipment that is already, you know, just given the money and then start making it. We have proven the early efficacy and tasting of the infused coffee. We have submitted the patent application to USPTO. We have, as I told you before, we have a COA complete from the infusion to brew. So we have all the data from the green bean to the different steps, to the different levels of roasting, down to the 8 ounces coffee already made, already brewed. We have all that aligned, you know? So what we're working on now is the new product partnership consolidated into Colombia Zona. Sending the product, the sales already with the key customers that we have in the US and globally, and manufacturing established for international commerce. This is everything. This is something that we have achieved, and I gotta tell you, we started with this, what we called it at the beginning, crazy idea. We started with this crazy idea in June last year, and it's March. And I think that for 9 months, we have a shift so much, so much. So let me show you here. Here, down at the bottom of the right corner, I'm holding the first natural infused coffee process, the first real infused coffee. This is the first coffee that we made, tasted beautifully. This is a light roast, because here in Colombia, we like the light roast. So you keep all the sweetness of the coffee. And this is what gave us the COA. So here is the HPLC for confirming that information that we used in the lab that we have here in Colombia. And here, I want to show you the coffee process, so the green bean. So as you can see on the left side, there's the non-infused bean. On the right side, you have the infused bean. As you can see, there's a white color. The size increases because you have CBD inside, and it's proven already that the morphology changes. And as you can see here around on the right side, we have this small crust kind of thing. That is what protects our CBD here. What makes us, have it ready or not disturbed at over 200 degrees. Here we have a normalized conditions of milligrams of CBD. Of course, as you can imagine, light roast will give you more amount of CBD. Medium roast will decrease it, but then we tested that the dark roast will have the average that we need, because it opens up the pores and then you can obtain everything there. So this infusion tool is not a toaster. I told you, this is 9 months of hard work. You need to have into consideration full level quality, GMP standards, AVA accountability, process control, HVM capacity, 24/7 durability. You need to be aware of contamination, because this is a product that you want to sell to people, and you have to be accountant. You have to be responsible for what you're providing to people. This is a cost of ownership, serviceability. This is something that it takes that you cannot do in a kitchen. This is something that requires great work, a lot of smart people around, and that's what Infusela has achieved with all of this. So Infusela is our trademark for the coffee that we are providing, and of course for the future products that are coming. So this is the place where we'll be placing. So this is part of the CBD supplier that we have arranged the management with. So this is the place. This is in close to a city in Colombia called Medellin. The city where it's located is called Rio Negro, which means Black River, and is very well located. Is right next to the international airport. Is right next to the trade-free zone. So this gives us a huge opportunity for the market and distribution. So again, during the pandemic, during the COVID-19, you need to be bold, you need to be brave, you need to differentiate. So that's what Colombia Zona has done, So thank you so much, everyone, for opening this time. Again, I apologize for all the troubles that I had, with the blackout and the dog barking and everything and the rain. But again, this is how it is during the virtuality, and I know how it is. So here's our website. Please visit it. Please give us a comment. Go to our LinkedIn page. This is my email in case you want to contact me. This is our CEO's email in case you want to contact him. And please, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know people out there who enjoy coffee and who enjoy cannabis. I really want to like this. So thank you very much.
Right on. Thank you very much for the presentation. Very comprehensive. I've seen some of it before. I obviously our guests haven't seen it. Does anyone like to make a comment? Please, welcome. Anybody? Just raise your hand, I guess, or something. No. Anyways, all right. I've got a couple questions. I'll start. I have a couple questions. My first question is, so tell me something. I mean, this is a genetic modification process, correct?
No, this is not genetic modification process. We're aiming there. So my PhD is in genetics. So we have worked with gene editing. I have worked in the lab.
Do you mind taking off the screen share? Let me see your face.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, right on, cool. Thanks. Right on. Yes, yeah, please. Yeah, so, sorry, so it's not genetic modification. It's not, sorry. I was, okay,
No,
please
this is natural.
explain the process a little bit.
Yeah, so this is a natural process that we have developed. So this is a natural process where it requires knowing physiology of the plant, where it requires knowing physiology of the bean, where it requires knowing technology behind cannabis and CBD. And we have put all that together after studying and doing everything with the plants, studying how they behave. We have put all of that together, and we have come up with a natural infused process that it doesn't require anything. We're aiming, so as I say, like, so I have been working with gene editing tools. So that's my goal. That's my crazy dream as a scientist, trying to include the CBD into the coffee plant, because that would be amazing. But that's just a crazy thought that I've been having since I started working with cannabis and coffee.
Cannabis and coffee. I like that. That's the name of one of our segments. Right? Yeah. Brilliant. I love it. And so, all right. Can you use any coffee with this? I mean, have you tried with different types of coffee? Obviously, you've done it with Colombian coffee. Can it work with Blue Mountain? Can it work with, I don't know, Ethiopian coffee?
Yes, you can. So that is.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm gonna mute myself for a second.
Don't you worry. So yes, you can work this with any coffee. We have tried using different type of the same Colombian coffee. So Colombia is a huge country. So we have mountains, we have valleys, we have beaches, we have everything. So depending on the altitude that you're growing your coffee, and as most of you coffee connoisseurs know about it, so depending on the altitude, you have a different quality of coffee, and also you have a different varieties and species that you can use. We have tried all of that, and it works perfectly. So actually, our idea is to start blending with different, because I know that people like some Ethiopian coffee, people like some Brazilian coffee, Jamaican coffee. So we're giving the opportunity to people to just like start saying, okay, can you do this with the Blue Mountain coffee? Yes, we can. We can give you the excellence of the Blue Mountain coffee with the CBD in it, with this process. You're on mute.
Yeah, my computer just told me. I guess it knows. All right. All right. Yeah. All right. I think we have a question coming in. Simon, you can also please turn on your video. Do you mind turning on your video? Let's see you, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have my video on. I'm just going to talk over Nicholas.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, thank you, Nicholas, for the presentation. I think when you really sum this up, when we looked at the coffee as CBD into the coffee, we said, how are we going to pull this off? And when we researched the market, we researched over 2,000 touch points, and no one had told us, yes, we've seen this done before. And people are really curious of how we do it. And that's the reason why we rushed to the patent office to get this in the patent position. But the key thing about this whole thing is what would really light up the world, and what would really help all the other CBD products in the market, from gummy bears to beverages to anything else, and honey, et cetera. We've got to light the market up. And that's when we looked strictly at the coffee. If we can get the coffee moving along, guess what? Everything else is going to be much easier to be accepted. That's why the coffee is the sort of the panacea opportunity to get the market moving very, very rapidly. And that's the reason why we decided to focus on the coffee. Unfortunately, we didn't realize how difficult it was going to be, but we've been able to do what we want to do. And that's the reason why this is the first time we publicly expressed what we've done. This is it. First time. So thank you very much.
It's a great format and a great presentation.
Thank you.
It seems to be a great. Well, it's a machine, right? It's a process that kind of goes in between the growers and the distributors. You just kind of fit yourself into the value chain, I guess, the supply chain, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And then what? If you really think about it, to make this successful, we had to have chemistry, chemical engineering, physics, material science, agronomy. It took a lot of. I just thought, it's just a green bean as a chemie. But when we really started researching why no one had done it, it made perfect sense. It's extremely difficult to integrate all the steps and have the CBD survive the roast. But in the background, go ahead, please.
Now, how can you guarantee the consistency from bean to bean? How does that? I mean, especially if it's somewhat of a natural process, how do you do that?
Beautiful question. I'm a process engineer as a chemie, and one of the things we've seen is a lot of variability from some people stating CBD coffee with so many milligrams. There's nothing in it. We've actually tested some of that coffee. So what we've done is we've studied every single step. By putting in the green bean, imagine you have a cube and you put some CBD in, you run it all the way, it's like almost a sugar cube into your coffee eventually. We actually control it probably close to plus or minus 5%. That's why this one will work for people. You'll get the same CBD day in and day out, so you don't have to guess. Now, if you put in drops yourself, well, you're guessing, right? And people want convenience. They want to drive up. They want to just have simple conveniences, and then it's done. That's what this process will do for you. Mm-hmm. Good question. What were the other processes?
I want to get to any other questions coming in. Let me change the view slide there.
And as I told you, Marty, one big company that distributes coffee in the United States actually have in their label that like the CBD amount will vary between batches, and I don't think that's something that is very responsible to say.
Sir, I missed some of that. I was trying to just heard something. I said, sorry, Simon's. I muted you, Simon, there for a second because I heard something in the background. Sorry, repeat that for me, please. I missed some of that.
No, that we have found that one of the biggest distributions of CBD coffee in the States, one of the big company, they're actually claiming their label that the CBD amount.
Well, it varies, right? You're saying varies.
It varies between batches. So I don't think that is something that you should put on a label. You know, you wanna be sure of what you're drinking. So that's what we're aiming for.
Certainly not if it's something that you want to get a health benefit from. I mean, if it's alcohol, you could tell somebody between 20 and 30%. They'll be like, I'll drink it, you know. But CBD might be slightly different. I agree 100%. Oh, good. Okay, that's gone. All right. So all right. So what kind of interest have you had from I'm sure the farmers, they're not going to mind a process to help them and perhaps generate more revenue for them. What about your distributors? What about a brand? Do you have a brand with this? Do you have your own brand? Are you just a product, or are you just a machine? What the process? Sure. What's up with that?
Well, let me field that question. This is Simon. Let me field that question. Yeah. At first, when you tell people about this, they don't believe you. They go, what's going on? And then 95% of the people don't even know what a green bean is. They've never seen one. They have no idea there's 8.8 million tons of this stuff being shipped around the world. But then once you start explaining people why, then they get interested. Now, the distributors won't talk to you they don't talk to you unless they know that it's in the green bean, because that's the way they receive it.
Yeah.
And then they don't want to have a special machine and special cleaning. They go, we just want to drop it into our ecosystem. So in terms of the interest, we've been actually working on this with a lot of different organizations. And now people are coming and knocking on our door. I've got CBD suppliers knocking every day. The distributors are starting to come around. We're starting to see a lot more action because we start doing a lot more social networking. But overall, initially, when people see it, they go, no, you didn't make that work. And I go, yeah, we did. We've got the data, because Nicholas and I are both scientists. And we actually have the data. So yes, the interest is going way up.
Okay, and what about, have you, you say this is the first time presenting, what about, you have some taste tests before, I know you have someone on the team who's a taster. What about in the general public? Have you gone into a cafe and
yes.
Try this and see, what kind of response have you guys got?
You've got to be very careful with that, just from a responsible point of view. So we actually picked two groups of people. We picked people who had never used CBD in coffee, but were coffee drinkers. And then we picked people who had drank CBD coffee. And that's the one we were interested in, because they knew what the effect was. And so the efficacy was much better with the method that we've created than other methods. This is what we were told. And then the people that had never drank CBD coffee, their interest was aroma and flavor. They go, you sure you put CBD into it? And then they wake up next morning and go, wow, I had a great night's sleep last night. Excellent. So we used two different groups of people. Correct.
All right, all right. And so, all right. So, what's your what is your plan now? I'm sorry, it's the weirdest thing. We're supposed to have like curfew at 12 o'clock today, and this still early. I don't
No problem.
understand it.
What is our plan right now? Our plan is, first of all, this is not one of those businesses that needs 20 or $30 million because it's all turnkey. So we're not looking for a large investment because we don't need it, and we're not probably going to take it. We're a very conservative group, and it's going to be a virtual company, and we've got all the turnkey operations ready to roll. So we're here sitting here on the 5-yard line. We're ready to rock, and that's where we're looking for some key investors.
So sorry, have you had brands that are interested in coming in and buying in? I mean, because that would be an optimal space as well. If just a straight brand partnership and give you whatever resources and package and you run.
Yes.
So how's that? Yeah, how's that going?
Yeah, we've got some of those discussions actually started already with several people, but like I said, it takes time to develop those relationships because there's so new. No one's done this. I mean, literally, no one has done this, and it's very new to people. But once you introduce it and once you get it on the market, that's the key. It'll sell itself. Confidence is very high.
How fast is the process? Say if you were to well, say you have your facility in Colombia. I mean, how fast is the process? Say from harvest to shelf ready.
Okay, so we're just taking the green beans, which are already readily available, but our machinery is capable of producing tons per day, not pounds like you would do in a garage or your kitchen. We're going to be able to produce tons.
And what happens if the machine breaks down? I mean, how many of these do you have? What's the deal with that now?
Actually, I'm an equipment designer. I've been involved with multi-million-dollar equipment. I'm actually the designer of the equipment, and we focus on reliability, the mechanisms, off the shelf. This is this is what I do. We make very reliable machines that work 24/7.
Right. Yeah. And I'm assuming you'd also set up other entities that have the machine, say in Jamaica, so we can do the same thing, Blue Mountain and so on and so forth. How would that operation go? I mean, would you'd sell it with a certain level of service? I mean, there's some entities that, like, even with some of the oil processing machines, but it's more like a leasing that they do, not necessarily an outright purchase. I mean, how is that gonna?
Well, we have flexibility.
What price point, and what's your price point like actually?
Yeah, the price point is actually very good. And for external, once we move it out of our area into, say, for instance, Jamaica, we would work with you in order to provide the machine, train you, system upkeep, et cetera. It's not like we just drop the equipment on your lap. And then the key thing is once you tune the CBD with the machine, then it's all tuned. It's all set up, ready to go. We don't see that as a problem. And then in addition, if there's a licensing opportunity, we'd also look at that opportunity also.
Right. Okay. All right. Great stuff. This is excellent. I'm gonna package this up and put this together. We'll talk again very soon. Anything else you want to add? Or any questions? Anyone else? Any comments? Christian? Anyone? Tim? I don't know. Just raise your hand or something.
Well, sure. I just want to emphasize. Yeah, go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
Well, the
Tim.
one thing I wanted to compliment Nicholas, and number two, go with what Simon says. The most important thing that made it attractive to me to coming on board was once we infused the green bean, we're basically a turnkey business, and then we just sell it to distributors to the US and worldwide. So now they can go on and get their own customers. So now we're not going to be selling to individuals. We're not selling to brick and mortar companies. They can do it and distribute it within their countries. That's what I always like to say.
So not to brick and mortar. I mean, what about like a chain? Not even say a chain. Suppose, like, say Jamaica, we have, or even the Caribbean, we have a couple. Chris, you know this. We have a couple small breweries and so on. Would an outlet like that be appropriate as far as your business model is concerned?
Yeah. So to just like add up a little bit on what Tim said. So that's what we want to give people. We're gonna give people chances and options for them to play around with the coffee. We just don't want to give them an already decided coffee on our taste or on our bias taste. We want to give them something that the community is asking. As I said, here
you want to include the Jamaicans as well, right? You want to include the Jamaicans. I understand.
Everyone.
I understand.
So here in Colombia, for example, we like the Lyros. In Jamaica, I know they like the dark roast. I know Norway, they like dark roast, you know. Spain, they like the medium roast. But so we want to give that opportunity, that option to every country and every distributor to just take it. So that's why we're doing it on the green bean. And people who understand coffee, people who know coffee, connoisseurs of coffee will know that this is a great opportunity for them because they just can play around. They just can do whatever they want. And still they're going to be giving that. And we're going to be, you know, we're going to be consulting. We're going to be consulting them.
All right, who's laughing? Yeah. Oh, y'all gotta mute yourselves if you're laughing. All right, I'm sorry, but that's cool. That's fine. What am I trying to do here? All right, I don't want to take up this. I don't want to take up 10. No, Simon's on camera. All right. Simon on camera. All right. Wow, I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, okay. Are we seeing me now? Okay, right. Simon is still completely on the camera. Anyways, I don't know. All right. Anyways, yes, it's been an interesting time. Sorry, say something, Nicholas. I don't know why Simon is on and he's not speaking. His camera's mic is not.
Oh, anyway, I'd like to say again, thank you for being the first conference to expose this to the community. But like I said, what this will do in the future is going to change the world. That's the key. It's going to have a large impact on people. And one of the things is we're going to be involved in is being able to help distribute this across the planet. It's going to bring CBD to life. It's a great opportunity. Everybody's going to benefit this. The people making honey, gummy bears, beverages, everyone will benefit from this effort.
See, well, that brings up another question. Are there other things that you can infuse this way? I mean, is it just coffee, or are you just focus on coffee? Are there other things that you can do this with?
We're working on developing new products with technology, with the first-hand and more scientific technology that we can provide. We want to be very empathetic that we want to be responsible and we want to provide things that people are actually relying on, because that's the main problem. That's the main problem with the cannabis industry sometimes, and that people are not trusting some of the companies because of what we have exposed here. Sometimes they don't provide. There are many tinctures, there are many oils, there are many products that claim to or promise to give away some percentage or some amount of CBD, but they don't. So that is something that we want to actually make sure. We want to gain trust. We want to gain trust from the public, and then say, okay, the cannabis industry is a serious industry, and we're going to move into it.
Right. All right. And so, well, I guess one of my final questions. What about? I see you're completely focused on CBD. What about THC? Do you have the same capacity to infuse with THC as well?
Yeah, as I mentioned in the middle of the presentation, yes, we have proven that this process can be used with any type of cannabinoid. Yeah, but at the moment that we're focused on CBD, the reason for that is because THC is still a little bit problematic when it comes to using it and getting registration, because it's only approved now for pharmaceuticals, not for edibles. So that's one of the main reasons why we're focusing only on CBD, because CBD now is allowed to be used on anything, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And what are the challenges that you? Well, I guess you're kind of starting. You've 9 months. That's a pretty fast product. Of course, you knew you were going a little bit before. I thought you just kind of fell into this months ago. What's your outlook looking like at the moment?
Sure. So let me answer that question.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, you had two questions there. Being able to execute successfully, and then what is the out? First of all, there's several of us here that are not new to startups. We've already done startups, so we're pretty well conditioned in terms of finance, taking it from point A to point B, spending the money wisely. So we've got that pretty well tackled. The second thing is entering the CBD and the coffee business. We've got expertise already on hand, being able to communicate with the distributors, hotel chains. We've got that already in place. So I would say, from my experience, being sincere with startups, we're on the 5-yard line, and we've probably got about 90% confidence of success. It's very, very high.
Right on. Well, yeah, you do seem to have a great product. I can see that fitting very much into the value chain of many entities, including my own. For sure. No, I love a brand of coffee. You kidding me? CBD cannabis teas. That's the cannabis and coffee. To me, they go hand in hand. That's almost the perfect breakfast drink. Would be a cannabis infused coffee.
Absolutely.
I just do it separately.
Coffee and cannabis, they just match up so well, and you wouldn't know.
It's true. It's true. You wouldn't think the history of the two. You're like, wow, but it really does. Just sample it. It's like, wow, it makes a lot of good sense. All right.
Exactly.
Well, that's about our time. I'm going to say thank you, gentlemen, very much for your presentation. I think it was great. We had a small in the room crew, but we are also beaming this out, and it is going to be recorded and packaged up nicely and properly for our programming. I could give you guys some stuff that you can use as well, and we can even talk about your presentation. We can talk. I like it. Man. It was good. It was good. Thank you again once again for your time. And and I guess we'll thank you for closing out this with the second ganjactivist.com Cannabis Conference and Expo series. All of this has been a learning experience. We will come much better next time around, but the point of all of this is to bring people together to discuss cannabis, the industry, bring real heads together, and to produce this programming so we can keep content coming on the growth of this beautiful industry that we are all now a part of. So thank you, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Colombia Zona. Thank you for your presentation, and thank everybody for joining us for the ganjactivist.com Cannabis Conference and Expo. Check the website, ganjactivist.com. You'll see
you very much.
Updates and everything. Right on.
Thank you.
Good job, guys. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mari.
All right, thank you.
Have a great one.
Great. One love. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, bye-bye.